If we were to deconstruct a really effective process or system for having good communications, it would probably address these 5 major areas. What we find is that most work leaders probably ambush people in their communications, meaning this. If I walk up to you and I say, hey Keith, or I don't even say hey Keith, Keith, what happened over there? What is Keith's likely response going to be? Just what's going to happen inside? Yeah, whoa, step back a bit, buddy. It'll be like shields up. Shields are going to go up, right? When shields go up, he's not going to be really focused on listening to me because he thinks that I'm attacking him. And when someone feels like they're being attacked, they are not ready to receive information. And his reaction is going to be like, who made you boss? Even if it is the boss. Because there's this resistance inside to doing that. Now, a lot of that had to do, of course, with the tonality. So what we found is there's a tendency in communications to bypass the niceties and simply jump right in and start pushing information on people. And we wonder why they get resentful and bitter or negative or just passively resist. That's even better, right? You think that you've been clear. Was I clear? And then the thing doesn't get done and you're going, hey, I asked you to do that. Well, the person is passively resisting. They're going, I heard you, but I'm not doing it. You can't make me. Which only, of course, causes the other person to get more irritated. Again, look at what's effective. So that's why we made step 1 in the 5 steps. It's called relating. Now, relating doesn't just mean, hey, how's it going? How you doing? How are the kids? How was your weekend? That stuff is important. We said that that's the cliche communication. What we mean in the relating step is, hey, Frank, I need to talk to you about some of the production issues we had yesterday. Or, hey, Jen, I need to talk to you about some client issues that came up from last week. All that is it's just a heads up. I need to talk to you about our schedule or work schedule for next week. Hey guys, I need to talk to you about the job we're going to be running next week or today or whatever. What you're doing is by just doing that simple statement of telling people what you want to talk to them about, you're giving their brain fair chance to download whatever it is they were working on, upload your thinking process, and be prepared to have a discussion about it. So instead of flying in and performing what we call pigeon management, which is fly in, drop a little poop, and fly out. That's pigeon management. Mushroom management is keep people in the dark and feed them poop, right? And so the reality is, if we want to not be accused of that as leaders, we need to stop ambushing people. The way we do that is we start every conversation with, hey, I need to talk to you about this. The person is going to be much more receptive, much less defensive if we start that way. Now again, if we start off by saying, hey, I need to talk to you about how you made some very stupid decisions yesterday. That isn't quite the intent of what we're talking about. We're simply saying, hey, I need to talk to you about some of the issues from yesterday. Now the person might still get a little antsy, but they're more likely to be more open. So that's the relating step. The second step is the questioning step. The questioning step is if I can find a way to ask them questions, because remember the brain comes up with an answer. So if I ask them questions like, hey, I was just wondering what happened with the bin of parts over there, or what happened with Mr. So-and-so as far as the client goes, or what happened with the XYZ job that you were working on. Now notice what happened is much better than why. Why did you do that, Bill? Carmen, why did you do that? When I ask why, it makes the person shrink down. Mommy, I don't know why I did it. I just did. It's not the relationship we're looking for. By the way, aggressively defensive people like to have people like that. They want to make people feel insecure and insignificant. Because if they're down here looking up to Dad, they're going to be in a position of relatively low power. What we're looking for as leaders is equality of power. I'm not trying to hold my power over you. I'm simply trying to get the job done. Then you move into the next one, which is either request, suggest, or tell. When should you, hey, I suggest that you go and take care of this? Or when do you just say, take care of this? How do you decide what approach to take?
Depends on the urgency.
Depends on the urgency. So again, just beware on the urgency thing that you haven't created urgent situations to justify just telling people what to do, right? Because that's the old autocrat justifying their behavior. All right. What's another reason?
Number of times you've asked before.
Yeah, maybe I've asked nicely before and the person hasn't done it. Do you also know that there's probably people in your work crew who don't get hints, who don't do things when people ask? Now that doesn't mean you have to be punitive and always bark out the orders. It just means that there are some people that really need you to be absolutely crystal clear, direct, and tell them. And when you tell them directly, they will do it. Other people you know would be offended if you told them to do it. So then you need to ask them. That's what and they respond to being asked. They don't respond to being told. So some of it is the urgency. Some of it might be the seriousness, if it's a crisis, emergency, health and safety issue. Some of it might be that I've asked the person nicely before and they haven't done it. So now I might have to scale it up a little bit. And then the next aspect is something called answering concerns, questions, or objections. When I get pushback from people, instead of getting defensive about that myself and saying, do it because I told you to do it because I'm the boss, do it because I said so. Yeah, you can use the word because, as we learned, that can be powerful. The reality, though, is that, what's the problem? What's causing it? And for us to be open to hearing from the person as to what the issues are, what the barriers and obstacles are, will give us a chance to get their buy-in. And then the last step, which is probably the most important one, is to ask for a commitment. You see, if I just kind of do one of those fly-by leadership talks, hey, Bill, take care of that bin of parts for me. Bye. Hope you got that. Hope you got, that's not going to be as effective as if I go, hey, Bill, can I talk to you about something I need you to do? Sure, okay. Hey, do you see those parts over there? It's really important that they get through to, the next stage of operations. Could you do that and take that over there for me and do that sort of as your next course of action? Can I count on you to do that? Sure. See how that's just very quick conversation, and I did almost all the steps. I mean, if Bill said, hey, I'm really busy right now, I say, hey, Bill, I know you're busy, and those things that you're working on are important. I tell you what, I need you to take you off of that and then get you to do that for me, because that's absolutely so critical. If we don't get that done, the customer's not going to get the shipment that they wanted. So could you take care of that for me? That little phrase at the end, can I count on you to do that? Could you take care of that for me? So important to closing the deal. Otherwise, we don't have their commitment to doing it.